Hello everyone and welcome to an unboxing of the latest releases from Knight Models, primarily for the Batman miniature game, but also just because I play it ever so often and I like to look at these releases, the new releases for the DC Universe game as well. And I had hoped that by also including these in this video we'd actually have some stat cards to look at, because of course the Batman ones aren't coming with it. The app still isn't available on iOS also, just pointing that out. But I had hoped that they were still doing the DC cards because there is no DC Universe app and you can't use these models in the Batman app either. Sadly, I looked at the back of the packaging before starting recording this, and unfortunately, doubly unfortunately, and we'll get into a second, they all say on the back, download the character card from Knight Models. So they've also just flat out stopped doing them for the DC game as well, which sucks because of how intricate their cards are for that game. It's a lot less, or a lot more complicated rather, it's less simple than the Batman cards. But it's doubly annoying because as of me recording this, of these three new characters, which should have released in the middle of July, only Saint Walker's card is actually on his page. It's been there for about a week-ish, roughly speaking. As of me recording, and I went to double check before I pressed record, Zod and Black Adam, their cards are not on their page, so you literally can't use them. Obviously it's an error and they'll hopefully fix it, but it still sucks that they expect you to print them off. The fact that they've done that for the DC game as well as Batman kind of lends credence to the theory the app is not like their grand plan to make the game more accessible, easier to play, etc, etc. It's cost cutting and they just don't want to produce cards because of the incurred cost. Especially for the DC game, which has a less of a following than the Batman game as well. I can understand them not wanting to, but it really sucks. It really, especially when they just, they forget to upload the character cards and make them usable. So this will just be mostly looking at Sprue. If that's your kind of thing, place your bets now on whether or not we have anything that's wrong, and let's get started. So we are going to start with the new Batman releases. Specifically, we have 4 new miniatures specifically for Penguin Crews, which is a little odd because I guess this is more of a modern thing, but of that group of 4 I'm only familiar with one, and the story I read with him had absolutely nothing to do with Penguin. One's a free agent, the other 3 are henchmen I think, but we can talk more about that later. We have the new Emperor Penguin. He's had a model before, but this is an updated one with updated rules. And then part of the nonsense people, like Condiment King and Polka Dot Man, etc, etc, we have Signal Man from the Legends of the Dark Knight, which is just them delving into the unknown heroes and villains, or just villains really. I am not familiar with Signal Man at all. I think he's standing on the bat signal, or maybe it's just a spotlight. Let's open him first. I hope it's a spotlight, because otherwise the bat signal might be a TARDIS with how often it changes shape and size. You've got the giant, oh, it's bagged, interesting. You've got the giant one that Commissioner Gordon comes with, you've got the one that Rebirth Bane is standing on, and then you might have this one. Let me see, it is the bat signal. It is. Oh no. Alright, well that's a 3rd size added to the lore of the bat signal then. So it's interesting that they've actually bothered to do a baggie. The resin looks different. Why is that? Hang on. This is not the usual shade of their new resin. It feels like their new resin though. So yeah, that's the top of the bat signal. It doesn't look as untidy as their resin usually is either. Weird. So he's got like almost like the hand of a clock as a sword. His cape, his legs, and then you've just got some miscellaneous bits in there for the signal itself. Obviously no one is... I think that's an extra bit of sprue there, but it does look like it's giving the middle finger, which is hilarious. He's just got a really long middle finger. Alright, well actually, let's just go straight to Emperor Penguin then and see if his resin also looks like that colour, because I think they did have problems with one of their production lines, right? They posted something about that on Facebook, so if they've changed it slightly, I might explain why this is a different shade to what I'm used to. Let's see here. Yeah, Emperor Penguin is in this colour as well, also not baggied, so hit and miss. That looks more like what I would expect. Lots and lots of cleanup required to make that at all usable. Very, very messy resin. There's the rock he's standing on. It's not warped, so that's good. Then his body. He's in his pajamas still, because it's really the only one costume he's noted for wearing is like his house coat and pajamas underneath. And this is, it's like some kind of penguin urn he's standing on. with a little indent there for his foot. But yeah, that looks different as well. I'm guessing the Penguin Associates will be the same, but we can see in a second. So the Penguin Associates, the only one I know is Mr. Toxic, from a comic from 2011 I want to say, which was his origin story, and it had nothing to do with the Penguin in that, so I guess eventually maybe he just becomes like a C-list and he teams up with these people to perform crimes for Penguin. He's a free agent. The other three, Hypnotic, Incombustible or something he's called, and Imperceivable, something like that. So he has mind control powers. He's very hard to see. He has the same rule Racer has about like getting free efforts if he's never attacked, and he's always lit up. So, and I believe when he was included in the app originally, it said he had like 1 health and 2 defense or something. That was updated. So once again, we have a very what's a polite way to say it? Eclectic style of packaging. We have a baggie, which is great, but not everything is bagged. It looks like they've kept the bodies out, and then this is just the miscellaneous capes, hands, heads. Again, it looks like someone giving the middle finger on one of those hands. Yeah, that's all their hands and spare legs and whatnot. So I guess that's good that those are in a bag. We've got our bases, same as always, 4 of those. And then we have, as I say, a compartment, well, not a compartment each, but there is Mr. Toxic's body. He actually seems really good. I'm disappointed that he's stuck with just being in Penguin Cruise, because he seems really good. And he's a free agent. He should have been like a free agent. The other 3 can stay with Penguin. Though a massive amount of excess resin on, again, I can't remember his name. I'm blanking on it. What's the betting on whether or not it says all their names on the back of the box? I'll look in a second. The Invisible Man by a different name? I'm sure it was Imperceivable or something like that. He's definitely called Hypnotic, that one I remember. He's wearing a gigantic scarf. He looks very of the time, given what people are wearing right now. Does it say on the back? Absolutely not. It doesn't say their names at all. Not even like just a little bit of lore or blurb or anything. Yeah, doesn't say anywhere on them. Well, you know, what do you expect? At least to keep all the intricate stuff bagged, I appreciate that. What would have stopped them putting the bases in one of these compartments and having a baggie with the bodies in that large compartment where usually you would have had the cards, but of course they're not doing cards. I don't know, it boggles the mind. Let's take a look at the DC stuff. So I know this is primarily usually about Batman, so we'll just very quickly take a look at the 3 new DC releases. I was really looking forward to these because I've been in the mood for like the superhero side of things. The new version of Black Adam, Black Adam Rebirth, the one and only, I think, Blue Lantern Saint Walker, who has the power of hope, and then Rebirth General Zod. I'm not entirely sure what he's meant to be standing on. I thought it was meant to be Superman's cape, like wrapped around a rock, but now I'm not so sure. So again, no character cards, sadly. Yeah, download character card on knightmodels.com. I would if I could. There is, it's not going to be a massive market, but again, reiterating, if you want to print cards or get that Chinese service and just be the middle person for them, you will have customers, trust me. So we have medium-sized base, and then yeah, this resin looks weirdly colored as well. So there is Black Adam. The model looks awesome. I really like the new pose they've gone for him. It looks imposing, it looks impressive. It also, if you compare it to the current Shazam miniature, it would look like he's kind of flexing at him. Like he's up tall, brandishing his power, and Shazam's just like hands on hips, which is kind of fun. So yeah, basically a complete piece, and not only that, barely any cleanup. That might be the neatest looking, cleanest looking miniature in the resin I've ever seen by them since they switched to the new resin. Doesn't feel as rubbery. I don't know, is this like, have they changed resin again? And then this is the Rocky standing on. It's got a little bit of, like, I'm not sure that's actually supposed to be there. It looks like it's rotted through, but whatever. I'm also not 100%. Oh, actually no, it slots in, doesn't it? Let's see here. I said I'd go through this quickly, and I've now spent the longest on this. It literally just slots in like that. Yeah, that not only does it look really good, I actually only see like there's one little bit there, one little bit there. I don't see anything else that needs cleaned up. That looks like somebody's already cleaned this, which is impressive by their usual standards. Saint Walker, let's see how you look. Get this open. Get rid of that. Oh, he comes in a bag. Also, the different colour resin. So, he needs a lot more cleanup. I can tell just at a glance. Yeah, that Black Adam looks like someone has cleaned it already. I don't know how else to explain it. I think that's been cleaned. Because look at this, as just can you even tell what this is meant to be? I think that's his leg swooping up. Like, these are so dirty by comparison, there's so much cleaning to do. I presume that slots in, yeah. Again, no assembly instructions, so you just kind of have to guess. That's what he's standing on. Did I just drop his body? I saw his body a second ago and then it was gone. Oh no, there it is. It was too small. So there's his body. Where is his head? Oh, is that his head? Oh, sorry. That thing on the end there, that is actually his head. He's over there looking like Majin Buu. Okay. See, that is so weird. Like, just the stark difference in the amount of cleanup. This has been cleaned. It has to have been. Has to have been. Let's see how Zod looks. I'm not even going to clean that away because I want to compare. And compare it to any of the Batman ones we just looked at as well. They were all very clearly in need of cleanup as well. Alright, Zod. Kneel before him. You also look like you've been cleaned. Oh, no. No, he's definitely got some work needed around his arms. The cape a little bit. Not much though. Oh, there's a little bubble in the resin there. That's unfortunate. Hopefully it's not visible once he's in the whatever this is. But not only does it look a little bit cleaner, you can definitely see the color difference. Or I hope the camera is picking up the color difference because it's very obvious to me. Like this is, it's almost like there's a sepia in the Saint Walker resin. Or maybe it's a better comparison here. No, they're both the same. I don't know, maybe these were produced on their old machine and this is the new one, or vice versa. I have no idea. Still a lot cleaner than Saint Walker and the Batman stuff. Could have also just got really lucky with the Black Adam sculpt. Either way, definitely the cleanest model I've seen from them in the new resin. So that is going to do it for a look at the miniatures. It really sucks that they've also stopped the production of the DC cards, especially if you happen to have a broken printer and trying to shop for a new one that doesn't have at least one review that says don't get this because you can never find ink for it. It's very frustrating. And have yet to find anyone who's producing the cards instead of Night Models and taking up that little bit of business that they've decided they don't want. And it's not because it's slowing down the production, clearly, because these took an extra month to get out. So, you know. Anywho, that's going to do it. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time. Ta-ta for now.